Confluence Fly Shop in Deep Canyon After is here this morning. Today on this Fly Time Friday, I'm going to be showing you guys how to tie Jonathan Farmer's Graboid Leech, which is a pattern originally from the OP in Washington, but it's one of my personal favorites for winter and summer steelhead here in Oregon. All right, so today we have a size 4 AquaTalon swing hook in the vise. As you can see, it is turned upside down, and you'll see why here in a second. In my bobbin, 210 denier, peacock blue uni thread. We are going to just get that going on the front of our hook. Clip off the excess, and we're going to leave that dangling there for a second. Next, we're going to come in with a rabbit strip. All right, we want to make sure that we tie in so the hide of your rabbit is not extending past the point of the hook. So it's going to be right about like that. And we're going to do a couple wraps in front, a couple wraps behind. And we are going to take our trusty Zap-A-Gap, turn that over. Put a little bit on there. Okay, now we're just going to whip finish that and call it good. Now we're gonna set that aside for now. All right, next up in the vise, we've got a 51mm round eye shank. It doesn't need to be this long. I just like to be able to put it all the way through my, my vise like so, which is why I'm doing the 51. And paired with it, I have a 6.4mm bead chartreuse. Let's get that on there. Perfect, just like that. All right, we are going to get our thread back on there, trim off the excess. I'm gonna go all the way back just in front of where the jaws are actually gripping our shank. All right, now as opposed to articulation wire, I am actually just using Power Pro or backing to attach our hook to our shank. So what I'm going to do, grab our hook, grab the two ends of my backing rather, and I'm going to stick them through like that, and then I'm going to put those two ends through the loop that is created, and we're going to pull that tight. Now I'm going to set mine about the length of this hook shank. It just happens to be. But you can adjust this really depending on how large you want this fly. I'm not going to have mine super big or anything. So we're going to tie that in on top. Make sure it's not twisted or wrapped in any way. You can adjust it at this point if you need. Let's see. I want mine a little bit longer. There we go. Okay. I'm going to snip off that and tie down that excess. So it's right behind the bead. Lovely. Perfect. All right, next step. All right, so this is probably the most difficult part of the whole fly. I'm gonna start out with some laser dub, pull out a big pinch, like so. And what I'm going to do is pull it apart in half, stack it on top of each other. So we are going to end up with a couple inches long, probably about, I don't know, 2.5 inches, and that's going to be the base for our dubbing loop. I'm going to press that down. Now I'm going to take some Steely Blue ice dub, or Kingfisher Blue ice dub rather, and I'm going to lay just a little bit on top of my laser dub. I'm going to try to spread it fairly evenly, just like that. A little bit more on the front there. Cool. And you can really put anything in your loop. I've got some dandy long legs in chartreuse that I'm going to put in there. It is nice to have like some ripple fibers or some legs or something like that, just to give it a little bit of contrast. Alright, and I'm going to lay those in my loop, and I'm just going to lay them across like so. I really like these legs, so I'm going to put a bunch in. And I'm just laying them across, filling any gaps. Cool. So now we've got our Kingfisher Blue ice dub, our laser dub and chartreuse. We've put it all together, and I'm just going to kind of press it down with my finger. Last thing I've got here is the material formerly known as Acrylex from MFC. It is now called Fish Flash. And I'm going to lay a little bit more down into our loop. Trying to spread it out as best as I can. Cool. And that is our finished loop. We are going to take our dubbing loop tweezers, and we are going to get underneath that loop and put it in our tweezers. Alright, so we've got it all scooped up. Notice I left a little bit more room on one side. That's the side that's actually going to go in the loop. So it's going to be about 50-50 in the end. Alright, back to our fly. We're going to create a nice dubbing loop. Like that. Gonna put our grip or our spinner down there, put our dubbing loop in to that, even it out like so. Lovely. And we are going to spin that up. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Take our, brush it out. Spin it up some more. As much as possible. Cool. All right, preen all that to one side. And I am going to start wrapping this up the body. Notice I'm just preening it back as I go. Don't need to be touching each other, the wraps that is. Now we're going to get up behind the bead, not all the way behind the bead, but I'm going to give it a little bit of space, so I'm going to wrap it off there. And trim that out. Make sure that's snug. Now I'm going to take actually my D-loop tweezers and just pull that out. Make sure it's all brushed out. Oh, there's no trapped fibers. Lovely. Now we're going to split it down the middle so we have room for our rabbit strip, which we're going to pull tight over the top. We're going to tie that puppy in. Trim it out. Cool. Hopefully gonna tuck this in behind the bead so we don't make it uneven. Just like that. Perfect. All right. Now we're gonna come in with some legs. I have the Aquamarine in fluorescent yellow crazy legs from Hareline. I'm gonna tie them in like so. Just like that. And I'm going to trim them the length of the fly. Come in on the other side. Do the same thing. Beautiful. Get our legs back out of the way after I trim them the length of the fly. Now we are going to make another dubbing loop. Spin that around, just like that. We're going to cut off about a 2-inch section of rabbit, maybe not quite 2 inches, maybe more like 1.5. We are going to wet the fibers like so they stand straight out. Now I'm gonna put that actually directly in my loop, like so. And I like to trim it off the hide in the loop. You can also put it in the D-loop tweezers, but I found this works for me. If you have dubbing wax, definitely use it. If you're silly like me and you forgot yours, just cross your fingers. Woohoo. Okay. Now we are going to even those tips out. Make them as long as possible. Pinch out these short fibers there. Okay, perfect. Now that we got that set up, we're gonna spin till we win. Spin, spin, spin. Just keep spinning, just keep spinning. Come in and brush it out. And now we are gonna wrap that. Make sure you do not trap your legs. Make sure to preen back as you go. Perfect. Capture that, trim it out, and whip finish. All right, there you have it. Get those legs up there. The Chinook Graboid, as some of you guys might have realized, chartreuse and blue. This fly is going to be used to swing for Chinook on the south coast of Oregon here. I used an extra large bead because Chinook are often hanging deeper. I really want to get down in front of their face. So that's why I used a little bit bigger of a bead than I might normally use. Other than that, this is about the length that I'm looking for. Let's measure it on my pinky. It is exactly the length of my pinky. It's gonna move really, really well in the water, as rabbit always does. You know, with the swing hook, maybe up it to a size 2 or a size 1 even if you'd like. I just had the 4s available and at hand. There you go, Chinook Graboid.